Evening all, it's Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. It's actually not the evening for me, it's about 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. I think it's the 7th of December. I might be wrong, I've got my days all muddled up. Right, before I start, I've got a couple of things I need to just say. The first thing is I'm really grateful to all those of you who have sent well wishes. I really do appreciate it. It's really nice to know that you have got my back. The second thing I need to say, it's a bit by way of an apology, if you like. Apparently, YouTube have paid me for last month's revenue. Now that goes into a separate account, but because I've been sort of not really with it over the last couple of months, I haven't noticed because I have a separate account for YouTube monies. And so for all of those who don't know, people who come across this channel who don't know, all revenue for this channel goes to a charity called Help for Homeless Veterans. It's a small Yorkshire charity, and I shall be sending that money off today as soon as I've finished. And I will put the figures up on the posts bit, you know, the written post bit, when I've done that. It's not as much money as it has been, because I've not really been very visible on here. I've not done that many readings in the last couple of months. I've not hardly done any, to be fair. So as I've worked it out, it's around £90. But what I would like to say is thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. Because without your engagement and you sitting through the whole reading, even if you're not really interested, and putting up with the adverts and everything, because so many of you do that, this year, in the last year, since I was monetized, this channel has sent, with your massive help, just under £4,500 to the two charities. Half of that, well, more than half of that went to Bluebellwood Children's Hospice, and the more recent charity, Help for Homeless Veterans. I will be continuing to send money to Help for Homeless Veterans, and that's because it is a small charity. There is no CEO being paid huge amounts of money. It's run by a man called Steve, who I believe is in his 70s, who is a veteran himself. They don't have lots of staff or anything like that. It's mainly volunteers, and so that's the type of charity I prefer to send money to, because at least I know the money's going to the cause. Right, this reading is about Keir Starmer's intentions. Now, what do I mean about that? Well, over the last few weeks, they've been doing a lot of stuff that really is, quite frankly, quite authoritarian. Getting rid of jury trials, cancelling the next year's elections in certain areas, and all that kind of thing. And the excuse for that is basically there's some reorganisation going on. But I really have a very strong feeling this morning that this cancellation of next year's elections is a precursor to something very much bigger. And I'm wondering whether Keir Starmer is gearing towards cancelling the next general election. So the cards we've got today are the Tarot of the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Catherine Weltstein, the Tarot of Mystical Moments also by Catherine Weltstein. We may do some predictions cards at the end, depending on how this goes. So why would why the last time a general election was cancelled? It's because we were at war. Let me say that again. Because we were at war. Now that was the World War, Second World War. But if there was major civil unrest, that would be classed as a type of war and not a time to hold elections. And I'm just going to leave that there, and you can glean from that what you will. And you are a very astute audience. My subscribers are very astute audience. A lot of you are way ahead of the game than me. A lot of you know a hell of a lot more about what's going on than I do. And I've just heard a dead cat situation. So what's happening at the moment then? So what we're hearing about in the news, what's coming up in the news all the time, it's this ridiculous notion that a teenage kid can be branded far right, racist, 50 years after they made a stupid comment. And there's a lot being made of that in the media. But when the media sort of hang on to a specific non-story, because it is a non-story. How many of us say stupid things when we're teenagers? I mean, I used to think that Lenin were a good bloke. I was daft and naive at time. I look back at some of the things I've said, and I'm frankly quite embarrassed. But the media are making a massive, massive meal of this. But what's going on in the background? And has it got something to do with elections? Now, I've got a really strong feeling it's got something to do with something underhand going on. And I don't know whether it's got something to do with elections or whether it's got something to do with the House of Lords. I have a feeling it might have something to do with both. It could have something to do with the jury, stopping jury trials. I think there's been some porkies being told there. As far as I'm aware, this morning there's some suggestion that David Lammy has told lies about rape victims. The percentage of rape victims that don't make it to court is well over exaggerated, that one. So, but that's sort of flown under the radar at the altar of Nigel Farage saying stupid shit when he was a teenager, a dead cat scenario. We've got number 31, Lorelei. A mermaid sits on a rock and gazes towards the ocean. A small ship floats nearby, connected with her through a rope. She has the power to decide the destiny of this ship and the fate of the crew. With a flick of her wrist, she could toss the ship against the shore, or she could let it continue its journey. What will the mermaid decide to do? She has suffered great loss in her own life. Will she continue the cycle of pain, or will she allow healing and grace to calm the waters? Right. You could read that card both ways. Either the mermaid is Keir Starmer and he's got the power, because she does have the power to flip the ship, if you like, and turn off the election, or we're the mermaid and we've got the power to flip the very tiny amount of people in Parliament that are all vying for these measures that are very authoritarian. So I'm going to do a reading and try and figure out who's Lorelei. Is it Keir Starmer or is it us? I think there's too many of us don't realise just how powerful we are. Together we're powerful. If we manage our thoughts and see ourselves as the victor, however not victorious you feel, if you see yourself as the victor all the time, if you see yourself as powerful, and the more of us that do that, I do have a really strong belief that good will overcome this evil, but I can't tell you how long it's going to take. But it feels like we're at a turning point. Now, if he's going to talk about cancelling elections, he's not going to get, or cancelling the general election, he's not going to get a lot of support from the Greens and the Lib Dems and other parties if those other parties stand a good chance of winning their seat. There'll be opposition to that. The local elections that he's cancelled, Reform are tipped really to win all of them if the local elections go ahead. So I think if he was trying to stop a local election where a different party was more likely to win from Labour, and he then started sort of cancelling those elections, he'd have a lot of opposition. But right now he doesn't have a lot of opposition. And I think the only way he would have no opposition to cancelling a general election in 2029 or before would be if we were at war, either a geopolitical war or a civil war. So ask yourself, are we being provoked into action that may see the cancelling of the next general election? So let's have a look. We've got the Three of Wands. Plans have been made. Ships have been waiting to come in. We've got the Lovers. Partnerships have been forged. We've got the Seven of Wands. The Circus Act. We've got the Two of Swords. Decisions. Indecision. That's quite a difficult set of first row cards. Now, the Three of Wands is about having made plans. This would be a merchant waiting for the ships to come in, if you like. Plans have been made. All the strategies have been put down. All they're doing now is sitting and waiting. I think maybe they've gone as far as they can go without sending out the alarm to such a degree where the sniff test has gone too far, if you know what I mean. I think they've already sent the alarm out because I think they've done it clumsily, and it's almost like, mermaids called sirens, but I'm hearing siren like, ooh, 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 alarm bells are ringing. They've made the plans, they're waiting for the ships to come in. There's too many alarm bells ringing on the latest set of plans that they've laid before us. The scrapping of the jury trials, the scrapping of certain local elections next year, the lies about the budget, all that kind of thing. Alarm bells are sounding. But there's still this partnership. This Lovers card is in the upright. There's going to be a partnership. And I'm wondering whether this has got something to do with the Green Party from yesterday's reading. Now, it was in the reverse for Zach Polanski. It's in the upright for Labour. Now, I think they might be about to shaft the Green Party or smaller left-leaning parties. I think they might be about to shaft them in some way. This might not come about for quite some time, so those of you with good memories will have to let me know, because I've said things in previous readings and I've totally forgotten about it. And then people have sort of messaged me and said, you know what you said about blah, 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 well, you were absolutely spot on and it was like months ago. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes I'm wrong, but it is for entertainment purposes, isn't it? Oh, hey ho. And then we've got the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands is about competition. And here we've got this circus act, this strong man, this tattooed strong man bending the bars to get out. You see, for some reason, I'm taking this is going straight. I don't know why this is going straight back to Zach Polanski, but it's almost like plans have been made. There's some shafting going on with this partnership that's being forged because it's a false partnership. It's a ruse, and this puts Zach Polanski in a bit of a hole. Or maybe Zach Polanski is putting himself in a hole. And then we've got this Two of Swords. This is about indecision, not knowing what direction to go in next. This feels like once I think they've messed up because I think they've come in too early with their authoritarian plans and they've sent the alarm bells off, and now there's going to be loads of scrutiny over the cabinet ministers and Keir Starmer and his cabinet. And now they've gone so far, they've shafted Zach Polanski, and now they're in a bit of a pickle and they don't know which direction to go in next. So this Lorelei, which is an angle I hadn't thought of it before like this, but this Lorelei could be the Labour Party about to drown themselves. Let's read on and see what's next in this saga, in this story. Oh, you don't want to come out, do you? Oh, hey. What's next? Ooh, here we go. We've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant. Oh. Right. Now, I'm seeing that as the House of Lords. I'm seeing that as the House of Lords. They have got plans to get rid of hereditary peers. The Hanged Man. They have got plans to get rid of hereditary peers. And I think they're going to try and make moves to get rid of the House of Lords. The hereditary peers part of that, which means it can put whichever people they want in. So it would be Labour heavy. Now, although I don't particularly personally think the House of Lords is a good idea, I'm actually in two minds about that at the moment, because if it wasn't for the House of Lords, we would be having state-sponsored killing right now with the death bill, the assisted dying bill, which in theory is a really nice, compassionate thing to do, but there are parts of that bill that have been removed. There's a lot of safeguards being removed from that bill, being pushed back on by the House of Lords. So I'm seeing this as the House of Lords. Maybe that's what's going to push them, as in, maybe this is what where their opposition is going to come from. Because there are a lot of learned old gentlemen and ladies in that house. The hereditary peers aren't affiliated to any political party. They're hereditary lords, ladies, barons, and all that kind of thing. And a lot of them are incredibly clever people. There's somebody in the House of Lords who is a legal eagle. Seems like there's a loophole coming. Seems like there is a loophole coming to stop Labour in the tracks. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. They are. They've already gone too far. This is what I'm hearing now. They've already gone too far. And then it gets this. The Hanged Man means one of two things, or it can mean both at the same time. It means viewing things from a different perspective. It also means self-sacrifice. And I think in this instance, the Labour Party are, and it's the middle card, so it's really important, the central card, the central theme, if you like. The Hanged Man here is talking to me about self-sacrifice. I think the Labour Party have just, I mean, we all know that they're absolutely terrible, terrible party. But I think something has either come up or is about to come up, which is going to be the final nail in the coffin. And I think what I'm seeing here is that the Labour Party have already and will continue to self-sabotage because of their ideology. See, this is indecision now. This is going to make them think twice. They're going to have to rethink their ideology. Oh, and then we've got the Empress in reverse. So this isn't going to be an abundant time for Labour. They've made the plans. They've dropped an absolute bollock. They've started forging partnerships, but they're going to drop people as they go along. But there seems to be some sort of hero or heroine, or a group of heroes and heroines about to rear their heads and call the whole thing out. It seems to be a legal challenge. It seems to be a legal challenge. Then we've got the King of Cups. Which way around? That way. Yeah, it's in reverse. We've got the King of Cups in reverse. We've got the King of Pentacles. So two kings. We've got the King of Cups in reverse. I'm going to put it the right way around, but remember it's in reverse. This is this king. Look at the picture on this. We've got this king. They're nurturing a ship in the hand, and they're allowing a ship to pass. Right. The King of Cups is about nurture. It's about intuition. It's about really taking care of family and really, really being caring and compassionate. In reverse, it means the opposite. They're not going to let people through. They're not going to be caring and compassionate. They are going to put a stranglehold, or going to continue to try and put a stranglehold on the population and other factions of government. There's this huge will to it's a toxic relationship. It's domestic violence. This is Labour's relationship with the rest of Parliament. And it's between the Hierophant, which I'm seeing as the House of Lords, somebody or a group of people in the House of Lords, and this self-sacrifice, this self-sabotage. And then we've got this King of Cups being a toxic father, trying to stamp their authority on the Lords. This election thing has got something to do with the Lords. He's got to get past the Lords. I don't think he's going to get past the Lords. And then we've got the King of Pentacles between the Hanged Man and the Empress in reverse. There's no abundance coming from this party at all. They aren't actually really self-sabotaged. And I think they've already done it. I think they've already gone too far. I think this alarm, this siren, this alarm has been sounding for some time, but I think legal help is on its way. I think people are getting legal help over this. And then we've got this King of Pentacles between the self-sabotage and the lack of growth. And it does really feel like the markets are going to have a huge influence on which way this is going to go. I think this is between the Lords and the markets. Now, I don't understand anything about markets, but I'm seeing this. What I'm seeing is a stockbroker. And I know it's not about a stockbroker. I know, but I'm seeing stockbrokers. You know, when you see those films like Wall Street and what have you, and they're all sort of screaming and shouting on this big floor. That's what I'm seeing. So we've got this stranglehold, got something to do with the markets. I'm wondering if our financial backers, the people who have loaned the UK that much money, don't know who it is. I don't understand it. The bond markets. Why am I hearing bond markets? I don't know what bond markets are. I don't understand it. I'm hearing bond markets. Something to do with bond markets. I'm sure there are people who watch my videos who know what I'm talking about. I don't. So if you can let me know in the comments, I'd be really, really grateful. And then we've got the full in the upright. Okay, this is right. So we've got this ending. So I think this whole nonsense is going to stop. And it's going to stop because the Lords, the law, and the financial lenders, if you like, are going to put a stop to that. And the outcome is a fresh pair of eyes, a naive pair of eyes. Is he going to stop the general election though? I actually don't think he is. I think he's going to try very, very hard to stop the general election. But we've got a pincer move. I'm seeing like a pincer movement. You know when you see war films and you've got these women around this big table and you've got these little models of battleships and aeroplanes and tanks and all that kind of thing, and they've got a thing on a stick and they're pushing them into position. I'm seeing strategy here, and it's like a two-pronged pincer movement. It's between the legal brains of the Houses of Lords and others and the bond markets. The bond markets. The financial lenders. Financial institutions. And then we've got this full, which is a new beginning. So there's going to be major attempt to stop it, I think, but I just don't think we're going to get there in the end, because it looks like this full thing's going to be, no, there is a brand new beginning. But is this a brand new beginning of dictatorship because he's stopping the elections, or is it a brand new beginning of freedom from authoritarianism. Let's have a predictions. This prediction deck is absolutely fantastic. However, it's just a series of scenarios on cards, and although they're very, very expensive, but they don't always, when they come up, they're not always relevant. Or if they are relevant, I don't sometimes have a hard time seeing the relevance. So, and sometimes I don't. It all depends. Sometimes they come up, it's such an obscure thing, and you just think, what's that got to do with this? So is Keir Starmer going to stop the next general election? Here we go. Lies and deception. Oh, tell us something we don't know. Lies and deception. Oh, straight, I've got goosebumps. What did I say about Zach Polanski yesterday, if you watched it? I said, when I look at him, I see the snake in Jungle Book. And I'm telling you, Labour and Greens are they're going to make a partnership. Housing issues. Well, we know that and all. Everybody's got housing issues. Housing issues, right? I'm not taking that lot. Oh, what's this one? The greater good. Right. Lies, deception, housing issues, the greater good. Well, the greater good isn't an authoritarian government, is it? Tell you what, let's get a wisdom of the oracle and see. Or maybe we've got the Lorelei card. Still not getting the connection. Let's have one more tarot card. Is Keir Starmer about to stop the next general election? In order to get support for that, I think we would have to be at war. Is he trying to provoke one? Is he trying to get us into one? Is he trying to provoke civil unrest? I'll let you answer that. Oh, the only thing about splitting cards on top of cards is that you end up picking up cards you weren't supposed to. Right, let's have a look. We've got the Emperor in the upright. Don't give me that. I'm thinking about it. What does that mean? What does that mean? High Priestess in reverse. Okay. When I said that the House of Lords are going to come up trumps for us, I think it's going to be an hereditary peer. Because they're under threat anyway, aren't they? I think it's an hereditary peer. And the High Priestess is in reverse. So there's nothing being hidden right now. I think it's all going to start coming out really, really quick. Keep your eyes peeled. Don't hang on to the major news stories. Have a little look at what's behind those stories. All the little tiny pieces in the paper. All the sort of 5-minute sort of reports that quickly disappear. If you don't already have it, get ground news on your phone. I mean, I've got it back, to be honest with you. With me being ill, I've not looked at anything. I've looked at nothing for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then when I did look at what had sort of happened over a few weeks, I was not astonished. I wasn't surprised, but I was pretty much blown away by the rapid pace in which this government is sending us down the communist slavery route. It feels like modern day slavery rather than democracy. It's communism, socialism, rather than democracy. And I was absolutely astounded at the support for that, because I don't think the public understand. I think people do understand. I just think the younger public, younger people don't get it, because they're not getting as good an education as we used to have. I mean, they're very impressionable. And I do think that young people do tend to be socialist in mindset until they have to pay their own bills, and then they realise how the world really works. And that's not their fault. I would say myself. The dangerous ones are the ones that get to the 50s and 60s and still believe in the same old bullshit. So what I'm going to say, as a sort of calling it type of thing, I think we already know where this is heading. I think there is going to be an attempt. I think there's going to be some hoo-ha between the Labour and the Greens. I really do. I do think there's going to be hoo-ha between Labour and the hereditary peers in the Houses of Lords. And I think the grip, Labour's already made their mistake. Alarm bells are already ringing. And I think the people that are going to save us from further declining into socialism and authoritarianism will be a member of the royals, the what's it called, the aristocracy. And now I've just heard Jacob Rees-Mogg, but I don't know if he's a lawyer, but I think there's someone who's a very brilliant legal mind. It's between the markets and the law. But it's already out in the open. I think what this card is trying to tell me is information to stop this happening is already in the open. It's just not being reported on yet. It's half hidden. So watch this space. Don't get caught up on the Nigel Farage said something naughty to somebody when you were 15. Stories that keep going on and on and on and on, because behind that, that's a dead cat. Behind that is what's really going on. And we just need to look behind the headlines, because they're not being hidden. They're just being cleverly disguised. Anyway, I'm going. If I'm not there at 8 o'clock tonight, it's probably because I'm gone to bed. I'll try and make it though. I was very late last night, and then late to the live, and then I sort of said hello and then went straight back to sleep again. So I missed it. So apologies for that, guys. Anyway, I'm off. I'll shut up rambling on. Have a good one, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Ta-ra!